Imagine sitting at lunch, talking about how everything just keeps costing more. Whether it's the beef for a burger or the rent for your home, your expenses are climbing, even as you work harder and save more. This is the treadmill of the traditional fiat system. Fiat money is a currency issued by a government that isn't backed by a physical commodity like gold. Because its supply can be expanded at will, the purchasing power of each dollar tends to decline over time. To maintain your current lifestyle, you have to run faster and faster just to stay in the same place. As this diagram shows, trying to save in this system is like trying to keep water in a bucket full of holes. No matter how much you earn, inflation acts as a constant leak, slowly draining the value of your savings year after year. Adopting a Bitcoin reserve changes the container itself. Because Bitcoin has a fixed amount that never increases, it acts like a solid steel tank. It doesn't have the structural leaks of the fiat system, providing a way to store value that stays where you put it. Moving away from a fiat standard toward a fixed supply reserve shifts the focus from chasing a rising cost of living to building long-term stability. Consider a local burger shop struggling with the rising costs of wholesale beef and supplies. In a USD-based system, these rising expenses usually force a business to make a hard choice: cut quality or raise prices for their customers. To create a buffer, the shop owner decides to hold some of their treasury in Bitcoin. A treasury is simply the reserve of funds a business keeps on hand to manage its operations and future growth. This animated chart compares the two paths. While competitors are forced to raise their prices to keep up with inflation, the shop's Bitcoin reserve acts as a financial shield. It gives the owner more leeway to hold the line on the cost of burgers and shakes, even as the world around them gets more expensive. By keeping prices steady without sacrificing the quality of the food, the shop offers a better value than the competition. Over time, this consistency can help attract more customers and build a more loyal following in the community. When a business secures its own reserve first, it gains the ability to protect its customers from the direct impact of systemic inflation. Success like this often leads to a conversation. The burger shop owner meets with their wholesale beef supplier to explain how the Bitcoin reserve helped stabilize their own business. The supplier, seeing a way to defend their own margins against rising feed and transport costs, decides to adopt a Bitcoin reserve as well. Look at how this changes the relationship. In this flowchart, the inflationary pressure hitting the supplier is intercepted by their own Bitcoin shield. This reduces the supplier's need to pass aggressive price hikes down to the burger shop. These partners can use quantitative forecasting tools to coordinate this shift. Quantitative forecasting tools are mathematical models that help businesses use data to predict future needs. These models help both the supplier and the shop determine the right amount of reserve to hold to keep their partnership stable. This shared education builds a layer of insulation between these partners, creating a localized network that is less vulnerable to the price shocks of the fiat system. This stability eventually reaches the family sitting down for dinner at the shop. They experience the benefit directly through menu prices that aren't constantly moving higher. Seeing how the shop protected its business, the family adopts a personal Bitcoin reserve for their own household budget. This creates a defensive layer for their savings against rising groceries and rent. While others are still struggling to keep up with the treadmill, this family starts to gain more breathing room. They can stop reacting to every price hike and start planning more effectively for their future. In this network map, the supplier, business, and family have become financially aligned, creating a pocket of local resilience. As more people join, the connections grow stronger. Every new participant moving to a Bitcoin reserve adds to the collective saving power and security of the group. Please remember that Bitcoin involves substantial risk of loss, and past performance is not a guarantee of future results. This information is for educational purposes only, so please consult with a qualified professional before making any decisions. You can step off the treadmill and onto ground that actually rises with you. To see how these numbers might work for your own situation, try the free simulator on Anchor Reserve. You can also find the research behind these ideas on SSRN, a digital library for academic papers, via the link in the description. Thanks for watching.